Welcome to Wednesday Night Coffee with Collecting Chaos. My name is James, and tonight I don't have any new comics or anything new to show you. But I do have some items that I pressed. I have some lost and found items, and some of which I didn't even know I had at all. And a surprise. Now, last week, if you remember, last week I showed a comic that was in really bad shape. I mean, it had tape all along the spine, and it was taped to the inside of the comic. And I was just going to, pull the staples and toss the comic off to the side. And I got to thinking about it, and I went, is there any comic that doesn't deserve to be conserved? And I couldn't say yes or no to that. So I decided, well, let me see if I can peel the tape off of this and get it cleaned. And I was reasonably successful of that. Of course, it had a spine split on the cover that was 3/4 of the cover was split. And of course, it had the really bad tear. I have the comic right here, by the way. It had that really bad tear on the back page, which is still there. I'm not going to try to fix that. But I did. I removed all the tape, and you can see some bad parts where it took off the ink, and there wasn't much I could do about that. It's no longer taped onto the book. As you can see, it's attached to the book, but the tape from the inside is gone also, and you can see you can see here where I used Tingujo paper to reattach the cover together and then put it back together. There is no comic that does not deserve to be conserved, as far as I'm concerned. Now, it didn't come out perfect, but I'm going to make a little certificate, and I'm going to give this away at some point. Unfortunately, I didn't do it live. Patrick, how are you doing? Hello. Good to see you, that you had dropped by. I'm always happy to see you. So that's my Superman Man of Steel number 22 that was in really bad shape and worth absolutely nothing. And what's it worth now? Absolutely nothing. It has no value. I guess it has value if you want to own something that I've worked on. Other than that, it really has no value. And the reason I put this board in is because I'm going to continue to press it. I only cold pressed it for about 48 hours, or for about let's see, 860. It's been cold pressed for about 24 hours, so it still needs another 24 hours at least. And what I do when I cold press something, I put a 54-point backing board in the center to keep the spine stress from coming back after it's been pressed. So that's why I put that board back in there. And I'll after the show, I'll go stick it back in the in my cold press. So now I have not sent out invoices from last Friday yet. I will do that tomorrow. I'm not worried about them. I know the people that got them will pay for it whenever they pay for them. And one item, I actually have additional things to put on there. I'm not sure. But let's go ahead and go through these comics that I pressed. Or maybe we'll do the Lost and Found first. And I'll show the comics I pressed afterwards. Now we'll save the Lost and Found for later. We're going to start with all new Career Girl Romances number 76 from Charlton Comics. This is from 1975, and it was not in that bad a shape, but it's even nicer now. I'm probably going to offer this up for sale on eBay, romance comics and stuff like that. Actually, they sold pretty good. They sold pretty well. Or I might offer it for sale before then. I don't know. Next up is New America, number 1. This is from 1987, and it probably didn't need a press, but it had a few little spine ticks that I wanted to get rid of. and I think I was successful there. It looks much better now. Next up is Forbidden Worlds, number 138. This is from 1968. It had a lot of creases on it and pretty bad, but it looks better now, and I'm happy with it. I collect ACG comics when I can find them. They don't show up that often, but when I get them, I keep them. Next is Luke Cage Power Man number 22. This was part of my collection. It did need a press, but as you can see, it turned out nice also. Unfortunately, there's writing on the cover and up in here, and yeah, but I'm not going to try to get that Sharpie marker or magic marker or whatever they used off. That is from 1974, by the way. Next up, we have the all-new Teenage Pebbles and Bam Bam. This is a number 9, and it's from 1972. And, you know, I never saw these on the racks when I was in high school and I was buying comics. I never saw Charlton on the rack, which is strange because I was on the East Coast. And they delivered a lot of the stuff to the East Coast. But I never used to see these. I had a friend that used to get them all the time. I don't know where he was finding them. But this one turned out pretty nice. Next is, looks like 56, Outlaws of the West, number 56. This is from 1966, another Charlton that needed a press, and it turned out pretty good. It still has spine stress, but there's not much you can do when you have color breaking creases. Next is Dragon Wheels number 47. This is from 1971. Another comic that I never used to see back then. Again, it needed a press. It turned out nice. I'm happy with it. I don't know if I'm going to keep my Charltons or I'm going to get rid of them. I know some of them I'm going to keep, but I'm thinking of letting a lot of them go. And that includes a lot of the horror ones that I still have. This one is not going anywhere. I am going to be keeping these. This is Sarge Steel, and I don't remember which number it is. I think it's like number 6. And it's not in the best shape in the world, but I never see these, so I was happy to get it. This is from 1966. And this is the next issue. Okay, so that one was number 7 because this one is number 8. And again, Sarge Steel from 1966. This one is in a little bit better condition, but it still has that big crease here, but it's nice and flat. And I'm happy with the way it turned out. These are definitely going to go in my collection. I don't know about the other Charltons. Haven't made up my mind on them. Superman's Girlfriend, Lois Lane, number 56. This was a nice looking comic before I pressed it, and it's even nicer now. This is from 1965. So a nice Silver Age book. I have a lot of Superman titles here. Action Comics, number 303. Unfortunately, this ended up with a tear right here, and I haven't fixed it yet. I will be sealing that tear, but I just haven't done it yet. And I'll probably forget and not do it. This is from 1963, and it's number 303. Another action comic. This is number 356 from 1967. And here's number 338. This is from 1966. And this supposedly takes place in the future, and I guess this is a descendant of Superman, who, rather than being weakened by kryptonite. He's weakened by salt water. Okay. Whatever. This is Action Comics number 360. Now, a lot of times when people press these comics, see, it does have a staple here and one up here. And a lot of times when people press these, you see the staple. And there's a wear mark on the staple. In order to prevent that from happening, you take a backing board or a thick piece of cardstock and you put it behind the first page and behind the last, in between the cover and the first page, and in between the cover and the last page, and that will prevent the staple from poking and making an indent into the comic itself. So that turned out nice and flat, and I'm really, really happy with that, the way that turned out. So happy with it. I might do my original 10 or 12 or whatever 80-page giants. Here's Action Comics number 383. This is from 1969. And the previous one was from 1960. Yeah, also from 1969. So this one is kind of beat up, but I didn't have it, so now I do, and I'm happy. I'm not too worried about the condition on the Action Comics. They're run fillers, and you know, I would like to get most of them from number 252 to whenever they went to the Action Comics Weekly. I'd like to have that full run. I have no delusions about going back to issue number 1. I don't think I'm going to be alive that long. And we have Action Comics number 479 from 1976, newsstand. I didn't have it in the newsstand, so that's a good one for my collection. Bronze Age goodness. And this Whitman had a lot of creases in it, but it looks a lot better now. And this is Superman number 400, or Action Comics number 486 from 1978. And it was the Whitman variant. It also has the Superman logo here, the Superman in the box there. So that's kind of neat. Like I said, most of these are Superman related. Action Comics number 544 from 1983. This is a number 400. Again, I didn't have it in a newsstand, so I'm happy with that. Next, we have My Friend Irma number 30. And this one turned out pretty good. It's nice and flat. Of course, it still has all the creases and what little bit of damage. It does have a spine split right here. I'm not going to fix that. It has another one up here. I'm not going to fix that either because I haven't decided if I'm going to keep it or if I'm going to sell it. This was published by Atlas, which of course is the forerunner to Marvel Comics, and it is from 1953. Finally, we have Action Comics number 644. Did not have this in a newsstand. It's from 1989, and we're happy to have it. And that was what I got pressed. Normally, I try to press 21 comics. I only got 20 done last week because it was so cold. It's been nice this week. I actually went out and cut my grass. Cut part of it yesterday and finished it off today, and it came out really nice. So it's been in the 60s, low 70s. So yeah, very happy with the temperature right now. Could be a few degrees hotter. That wouldn't bother me. Now, for my lost and found items, I haven't dusted this. I'm probably going to offer this up on eBay. This is a G.I. Joe vehicle. I'm going to offer it up on eBay as for parts because it's missing pieces. You see, this is It doesn't have the thing that's supposed to hold these steady. And I think it's missing a machine gun or something that goes up here. I'm surprised it has the antenna. So I'll probably offer it on eBay for parts. And sometimes when you offer them up for parts, you get more than if you offered it up as a complete vehicle. It's kind of strange. Maybe I should just take it all apart and then offer it as parts. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Next thing that I found that surprised me, because I didn't know I had this. I have a Storm in the box with the trading card. I didn't know I had it. I'm happy about that. I will probably remove this sticker. That won't be difficult to do. Probably do that tomorrow. I was going to do it today, but I ran out of time. I have other things I have to get done. And then this one I didn't know I had. I have a Black Queen. Another one that I will probably offer both of these up for sale. Actually, all of the items that I'm showing you right now, I will be offering up for sale eventually. Black Queen. You don't see those too often for some reason. And then I did not know I had this. Now, I know I have it, but the one I have is signed. But I didn't know I had one that wasn't signed. And that's Lady Demon from More Action Collectibles. And this one is not signed. And, you know, that surprised me because I thought all of the ones I had were signed. Well, the one that I have is signed. And the last item for my Lost and Found is a Lady Death. That is also not signed, that I didn't know I had. Now, it is, it's taking a curve, but that's easy to fix. So, yeah, that is my Lost and Found for this week. And like I said, I don't have anything new. So, if you have any questions for me, go ahead and ask them. I will be happy to answer any questions anybody has. Otherwise, we're pretty much done because we don't have a whole lot of other stuff. I was originally going to dig out some of my Classics Illustrated and talk about those, but I'm busy and I ran out of time, which is why I haven't got those invoices out. I've been busy. I've got some work that I need to do for somebody, and that's what I've been working on. It's not really paid work, but you know, it gets my name out there. That's why I haven't been posting videos either, or going live on my sales channel, which is something I intend to do. If you're not subscribed to that, you might want to. There's a link in the description down below as to how you can subscribe to my sales channel, which has no content on it yet, but it will. I just wrote up my rules for it, and I'm going to read the rules online as a video. I will post it, and then whenever anybody new, I'll tell them, go read the rules. But I'll also probably have the rules in each one of my videos in the description, or a portion of them in the description. The important ones, like if I sell you something, you got to pay. If you pay, I ship. So, yeah, I did have a few sales on eBay. I sold my Cyberpunk game today. Boxed it up. It'll be going out tomorrow morning. Did not. Now, I have sent people, I've had several people interested in it, and I offered them like 5% off because it's a new on a new listing. I won't offer much, but I'll offer the minimum of 5% off. sometimes it depends on what it is. And so this person, I did not offer 5% off. They just bought it outright, and it's going to Germany. So I'm not shipping it to Germany. I'm shipping it to somewhere here in the U.S. and then PayPal, or not PayPal, but eBay will ship it to Germany. They take care of all of that for me once they're satisfied that yes, I am selling. I am giving them exactly what they asked for. So that's how we do that. So I did have some interesting discussions with someone who said it was kind of going back and forth with me about cleaning comics, and said, "Well, you're new to cleaning comics, aren't you?" I said, "No, I'm not. I've been doing it a long time, but I'm still learning." And he said, "What do you mean by a long time?" I said, "I think I cleaned my first comic in the '70s, and all that was taking a damp washcloth and wiping the cover off, and then wiping it down with a paper towel." So that was the first time I cleaned a comic. But back then, you did not admit you cleaned comics. Even as late as the '90s, you did not admit that you cleaned comics. You did not admit that you did spine roll removal. You did not admit to pressing comics. These are things that you did not admit to because you would be hung out to dry. I mean, people would really get on you about that. It's only been within the last five, I'm going to say 5 to 7 years that it's come to the forefront as being acceptable. It's something that's okay to do. It's okay to clean a comic. It's okay to press a comic. It's okay to do conservation work. Before that, no, you didn't do that stuff. And if you did do it, you didn't admit to it. So it's interesting that how this has gone. And I think some point in the future, conservation will be the way, especially with newer comics. How are you doing today? Glad you could stop in. Like I said, it's conservation is accepted now more than what it was 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago. Restoration was kind of accepted, but it was looked down upon. And most people still look down upon restoration. And in some cases, for good reason. Restoration is generally permanently altering the comic, which cleaning is permanently altering it if you think about it. But restoration is permanently altering it so that it cannot be put back into its original condition. Conservation means that you can return it to what it was. Now, can I return this to what it was? No. Well, I guess I could. I guess I could put tape back on the spine, and I guess I could tape the inside back to the comic. But what I can do is remove the cover, soak it in water for 4 or 5 minutes, and remove the Tengujo paper that's holding the cover together. So, yeah, I could do that. And that's why that's conserved rather than restored. Restoration, you wouldn't be able to do that. But what I find interesting, and I've always found it interesting, is that you can restore a paperback book, and that's perfectly okay. People are fine with it. They have no problem with it whatsoever. Of course, they would prefer it original, but if it's restored, that's all right. You can restore a hardcover book. That's fine, perfectly okay. No one has a problem with that. It's given new life to the book, so it's okay. You do it with a magazine, you say, okay, that's fine. It made it last longer. It's good. You do it with a comic book, and you're a nasty, terrible person. I've always found that a little strange, but that's the way it is. So, I have another one that I'll be working on. I was going to clean this, and as soon as I started to clean it, the cover tore. Now, that wouldn't be a big problem, but the paper is so weak, and the spine is split here, here, and up here, and it's going to fall apart. There's no question. And it also has a tear here on the cover. So I'm going to go ahead and conserve this for my collection, and I won't be taking video of that probably. But yeah, as you can see, it's falling apart. So it needs some help to make it last much longer. Yeah, that's why I press comics. I've been asked that before too. Why do you bother cleaning and pressing comics when you don't send them off to be graded? Well, because I like them to look good. And so that's what I do. I make my comics look as good as I can. And sometimes that's just a matter of taking a cotton round, and we use this. I don't want to use the super mouse because it might get damaged more. But that might be just taking a comic round and going over the comic like this. This is, if you're not doing that before you put the comic in a bag and board, what's wrong with you? You should. Because even if a comic only sits out for a minute or two, it could still get dust on it. And you want all that dust off before putting it in the bag and board. Good to see you, Kenneth. Glad you could stop in. So I recommend that to anybody that is going to be, if you're going to bag and board your comics, get some of these. They're cheap. I buy them by the 300, and I go through the 300. I'll go through that probably within a week, because I use an average of anywhere from 2 to 6 on each comic. And I'm cleaning a lot of comics right now. I probably clean 3 or 4 a day. Because everything that gets pressed gets cleaned first. The cleaning might just be a wipe with one of these, or I might decide, it needs a little bit more aggressive. Sometimes I'll use an eraser to clean some of the white bits, and sometimes I'll use my liquids, which I have several of different ones that I use for different things. So it's all the way you do it. It's how I take care of my comics. My goal is to have them last as long as possible. Thanks for stopping by, Ryan. Glad you could stop in. Now, which reminds me, Ryan and I had a discussion about. Now, I'm not going to tell exactly how the discussion started, but it was a discussion about key issues, basically key issues versus Grail. And I've been giving it some thought. And a Grail there's two different types of grails. There is a general grail, which is a comic book that is sought after by a lot of different people. Hulk 181, Amazing Spider-Man 129, Spider-Man 300, Action Comics #1, Superman #1, Detective 27. Those are grails to a lot of people. So that's a common grail. And then there's individual grails. These can depend on the collector. Now, the term grail, when it's used in the collector's world, basically means that it is very sought after. It's a comic that you're focused on, and you've almost become obsessed with obtaining it if you don't have it already. That is a good example of a grail. Now, if you're a Spawn collector and you only collect Spawn, Spawn #1 might be your grail. Or if you have all but one issue and it happens to be number 37, that might be your grail. Not a grail to anybody else in the world, it's a grail to you. And the reason I'm bringing that up is many, many years ago, in the early 90s, I obtained Power of the Atom 2, 3, and 4. And I wanted to read it, but you can't really read those without reading the first one because it's a series. So I started looking for it. And I went to shows, never found it. I went 4 or 5 different shows and could not find this comic. Went to a lot of different comic shops, could not find the comic. It was getting to the point where I was becoming obsessed with getting this comic. It became a grail. Has no value to speak of. Even today, it's probably worth less than $4. At the time, it was a $1 book at best. Finally, I went in and I stopped at the very first table at this show. I said, "Do you have Power of the Atom #1? "Yeah, I think I have it back at the shop. I can bring it next week." Not good enough. Go to the next table. "Do you have?" And I went all the way around the room, come back almost to the last table. Maybe it was the last table. I don't remember exactly, but it was near the last table. "Do you have Power of the Atom #1? "Yeah, I think I have it in a box back here, but I'm not going to look for it." I said, "If you have it, I will buy it." He said, "I'm not going to look for it right now." And I looked at him and I said, "I'll give you $10 for it." And he stopped what he was doing and he found it. And I gave him his $10. It became an obsession for me to get that comic. It was a grail for me. Very happy to have it. I still have it. Finally got to read the story. It wasn't as great as what I thought it would be. But the point is, that book became a grail. Is it a key? No. But for me, it was a grail. Is it a grail to anybody else in the universe? Probably not. Will it ever be? I doubt it. But it was for me at the time. And the next show that all these people were in, which I participated in a number of those shows. I think the next show, I didn't bring comics. All I brought was collecting supplies, bags and boards and penny sleeves for cards and card sleeves, stuff like that, pog holders. That's the kind of stuff I brought that next show. And I sold out, by the way. I made more money than what I did selling comics normally. But everybody, almost every single person had a Power of the Atom #1, and 90% of them had them priced at $10. And nobody sold any. Which shows you not only can your personal grail become an obsession to you, it might change some price points in the minds of other people. Like I said, I sold collecting supplies that time and did better than I ever did when I took comics or cards to the show. It was just phenomenal. Because it seemed like everybody was buying these raw comics, or they're buying comics that the bags and boards are pretty nasty. So they wanted to get new ones, and there I was selling new bags and boards. I sold 100 bags of 100 comics or bags, bags of 100 boards, and I also sold loose. For a quarter, you could get a bag and a board, and they only cost me like 4 cents. So yeah, I made money off of that day. I also had magazine bags, so I had the modern, or I had modern, I had regular, I had Silver Age, I had Golden Age, I had the Silver Gold, and I had the thick Golden Age, the magazine, and the thick magazine bags. I sold out of the thick magazine bags first because somebody was selling Playboys. So everybody wanted those. I went through, I think, 500 thick magazine boards in the first hour that I was there. And people were continually asking me for them. I didn't have any more. Magazine bags, I brought those home. The boards, I had thousands and thousands. So yeah, I sold a lot. But I pretty much sold out everything. I think I brought back some Pog holders. Don't remember. Pogs were starting to go into decline about that time. So yeah, that's a grail is a personal thing in general. Now there are, like I said, there's common grails, and then there's personal grails, and it's a whole different story. And I see all the time posted on I get notifications that for comics on Reddit. I post to there once in a while, but I don't worry about it too much. But I'm always seeing posts of got my grail, and I look at it and go, what's grail about that? It's just a comic nobody cares about. To them it was important. So I guess what I need to mention is, do I have a grail? Well, I would say Tarzan would be a grail, but I have the first 10 issues, so I guess that's not much of a grail anymore. And I'm not talking about the first 10 Marvel issues or the first 10 Dark Horse issues. I'm talking about the first 10 Dell issues. And I'm slowly working on getting all of those. No, and I'm not either. But like I said, thinking about it, that's the way I see grails now. You have the common grails and you have personal grails. If you become obsessed with something, it becomes a grail for you. If you're not obsessed with it, it can be a key, but not necessarily a grail. Although I think key is way overused also. Some obscure minor character that shows up in one issue and dies in the next issue, and they decide both of them are keys because this person's first appearance and their death. No, it was just a story thing. It doesn't affect the rest of the shared universe for that title. You're determined to make me drive over to Louisiana, aren't you? There are a few comics that I would not buy. There are a few comics that I would not buy online, that I would only buy in person, and they're big boy books. When I say big boy books, I'm talking 5,000 or more, $5,000 or more. I wouldn't buy something like that online. I would be hard pressed to buy something for $1,000 online. 100, 200, yeah, sure. I'll risk that, but anything over that, don't really want to do that. I'd rather see it in person before I shell out that much money. Yeah, Yeah, could happen sooner than you think. Uh, Card Shop. In case you're interested, I'm in Central Texas. Card Shop Reality is in pretty close to our card shop. Yeah, he's pretty close to Central Louisiana, and it's like a 6 hour drive, 6 or 7 hour drive for me. But I haven't gotten around to doing it yet. One day, I have a car that'll make it. You know, I was never sure that one car that when we first became acquainted, I wasn't sure my card would get there. My car would get there, but now I have one that I know will make it. I haven't been to Shreveport since 1977. Yeah, I haven't been to Shreveport since 1977. When I was stationed at Fort Polk, I went up to Shreveport a couple of times. What is it you love about Texas? I mean, I like it because the fishing is good and the weather is, well, the weather's unpredictable. uh, and the cost of living is lower. That's what I like about Texas. It doesn't have a real high cost of living, at least not where I live. So if you're going to be around Shreveport, Louisiana on April 26th to 27th this year, stop by and say hi to Ryan at Card Shop Reality. um, well, Kentucky's got some small towns too. Um, Texas is just big, so that's why everything seems like a small town. But you got Austin, Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth. Those are not small towns. San Antonio is not a small town. You've got some pretty big cards, pretty big ones there. There you go. That's right. I have to. I'm still waiting for an email from Mr. Murphy so I can post it. Um, Patrick, go ahead and drop that link in the if you want. I do believe, actually, I think both of you. Yeah, either one of you can drop that link um, in the description or in. Yeah, you both have wrenches. You can both drop links if you want. Yeah. Well, I've lived in some big cities, believe me. There you go. Um, Go ahead and click on that link, then come on back and make sure you check it out. That'd be definitely worth seeing. You were going to email me the link, but now that you've posted it, you don't have to. Well, you two always have fun when you get together online, so that. But I used to have fun when Patrick Murphy would appear on my show too. So, that was back a few years back when I did a Wednesday night show, and I just started deciding to do it again recently. I don't consider myself a real YouTuber. I do this because it's fun. I enjoy it. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't do it. And that's why when I do post videos, they're kind of sporadic. I still have some things I have to finish and post, and I'll do it eventually. You know. As for a real reseller, I'm not so much a reseller as just selling stuff that I already have that I want to liquidate and get rid of. So. Yeah, but to date, he has not guest appeared with me. I want Card Shop Reality to come on every Wednesday night for a few minutes, if for no other reason than talk about the comics that he likes best that are new, which is probably none. Oh, not real. Which is funny that I say that I'm not a real YouTuber because my channel is what, 5 years old, almost 6 years old, and I have thousands of videos, but I don't have 1,000 subs. I guess until you hit 1,000 subs, you're not a real YouTuber. And what I find funny is the people that have been doing it for like 2 months, and they only have 400 or 500 subs, and they're all disappointed about it because they don't have a lot of subs. It just it drives me crazy. Oh, I have 250 subs, and I've been doing this for 2 months. You know, yeah, I didn't have 250 subs until I'd been doing it for 2 years. So that's kind of fun. It's you got to enjoy it, and I think um, even channels that are really successful, uh, partially they're successful because people are enjoying doing what they're doing. Um, if they're not, why are they doing it? That's my big question. When this becomes a job, I don't want to do it, and so I'll take a break. Except for last year. Last year I took a break because my house was flooded, and I had to deal with that, and I had to stop. Uh, I had to stop doing that. I had to stop making videos and stop doing things, especially the shorts, because I was releasing a short every single day. But what I would do is I'd make all the shorts on a Sunday, and then I'd schedule them to release every single day. So I was really only doing it once a week, but I had to stop that, and I want to get back to that. But I still have things that are in front of the boxes that I need to go to get to this stuff that I want to show. And my house is still a mess because I don't have as much space as I used to because they made my bathroom bigger, which some people would think, oh, well, that's great. You got a bigger bathroom. But it took away my storage space. So that's not as great as what you would think. Yeah, I understand that. Uh, yeah, good to see you, Roy. Glad you could stop in. Go ahead and You just posted on Instagram a link for your graphic tee. Go ahead and post that down there so people can know about that too. Yeah, I know. Actually, it's kind of a year ago that he secured it, or tentatively, but it was confirmed a few months back. From what I understand, you're tentatively scheduled for the 300th show as well. And like I said, Roy, you went ahead and posted to Instagram your graphic tees haul video. If you want to go ahead and post that, uh, you are more than welcome to do so. The link to that. Yeah, take a look at what he's got, and if you're interested in it, of course, slide on over on Friday evening at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern to his channel. If you're not subbed, go ahead and sub to Horizon Picks. And he's got he'll offer most of those up for sale at that time. Of course, you can always make him an offer on something he shows. It's a good chance he might take it if it's a good offer. Like I said, I have something that surprised me. This one, like I said, I had no idea that I owned that. That was a nice surprise for my lost and found stuff, which I just showed toys. I will have some comics, or at least a comic that I know of. I should get it before next Wednesday. Hopefully, it is definitely. I'm not going to say it's a grail, but it's a comic that I've wanted for a while, but not one that I was obsessed with getting. It's just one that I've been wanting for a while. And I'm not going to tell you which one it is, but I'll tell you the title. The title is House of Mystery, not House of Secrets. If it was House of Secrets, you would know which one it is. But no, it's a House of Mystery comic, and it's one that I've wanted for a while, and I have it shown. No, I'm not going to be selling tonight. That's still, I have the channel made. I haven't done anything with it yet. Probably, I'm hoping to start that next week, and it'll probably be about 3 p.m. or 3 in the afternoon, and I'll offer stuff up for sale. Just things that I'm interested in moving, and sometimes it'll be comics, sometimes it'll be toys. It might be Barbies, it might be action figures. I don't know. We'll see what it is when it happens. Yeah, he always makes people tired. Neither one. Neither one. Although I do want the House of Mystery Elvira, or Elvira's House of Mystery. I have the House of Mystery Treasury. That shouldn't be a surprise. Yeah, that I kind of want that, but I kind of don't, because new comics cost too damn much. It's what, $6-7 for a new comic? Although it won't say 6 or 7, like $5.99, $6.99, something like that for a new comic. I just, why do I want to pay that when I can get back issues for, you know, $1 or $2 that are good reads with good art? Yes, it is a mystery of which House of Mystery I want. But I will tell you that it is an original House of Mystery, and it is Silver Age. So that's all you need to know until it shows up. I think I got it for a good price, although I won't tell you how much. Yeah, yeah. The larger Elvira statue is money. I have tons of $2 comics. I have tons of comics I could sell for $1. I have tons of comics I could probably sell for 50 cents and make a profit. $174. Oh, okay. Yeah, we don't have that here. Yeah, we have a Dollar General. We don't have Dollar Tree. Yeah, I like the I Vampire run. I like House of Mystery in general. I've always liked it, even when I was a kid. You know, in the early '60s, I like to buy those. Um, and I pick up comics all the time for very, very reasonable prices. Yes, I have. I have. Uh, I managed to watch it for about 10 minutes before I turned it off. Could not handle it. Next week, I'm going to show something that Horizon Pix is going to go ah about, because I have both covers for the classic comics, you know, Classics Illustrated Frankenstein. I have both of them. I just have to find them both. I have both covers now. But I no longer have the Marvel movie or the Marvel classic Frankenstein because I decided not to collect those. Just like I'm not going to collect the Classics Illustrated that were published by Dark Horse. Uh, I think it was Dark Horse. They came in a digest size. I'm not going to collect those either. Just the original Classics Illustrated. And I'm not worried about getting all first editions or first prints yet. I want to get them all first, then I'll worry about getting first prints. That's cool. Uh, Let me see if I can find that real quick. Yeah, I'll get that, and that way I can post it. I'll have to find it, which is interesting. I'm looking on my computer for where I had it. Wrong place. I know it's here somewhere. It would be that easy that I could have just typed it out, huh? Yeah. Yep. Well, collecting chaos sales. So yeah. But that's what the name of the channel is, Collecting Chaos Sales. It's like I said, it is in the description down below, which I don't know that you can look at yet. You might not be able to look at it until afterwards. And I don't know if the chat shows up on my. I thought I had that fixed so that it would. And like I said, you don't know what I'm going to offer, but I will, when I do the title of whatever sale it's going to be, I will mention what I'm going to be selling that day. And it might be something like $2 comics, $5 comics, or books, or Barbie dolls, or toys, or action figures, or I don't know exactly what I'll be offering at any given time. That's true. You were the first sub, but so far it hasn't done anything. I'm going to go ahead and post tomorrow the rules that I've written out for it. It's a long list, and I'll read them off and let everybody know. And then I'm going to have that as a permanent. People want to know about the channel. That's what they'll go to. Yeah, I'll change it. Yeah, I might do that. I might call it Cheapo Comic Night, and offer a bunch of stuff cheap, offer a $20 comic for like $5, I could do that. Like I said, I had a couple of sales. I sold a lot of 8 comics for $20 for that I've had online for like 6 months that I didn't think anybody was ever going to buy. And then, like I said, the Cyberpunk game, I sold that this morning, and it'll be going to the post office tomorrow to go to the hub so that it can be shipped over to Germany. So that was a nice sale. Even after eBay, cut my vein and took my blood, it was still a good sale. I might have one night where I only offer comics that I've pressed, that I've cleaned and pressed. I don't know. In which case, that would not be cheapo comic night. I did press 2 comics for Mr. Yu. He's very happy with how they turned out. I learned quite a bit while pressing those 2 comics, I will have to admit, because I had to do them several times to get them just right. That would be interesting. Buy this comic for $4 and I'll pay the shipping, which is $7. So, in other words, I'm giving you $3. I'm thinking if I offer free shipping, they would have to have a minimum order. The Bizarro sale, yes. Be like that one episode of The Big Bang Theory where he's selling cats for $20. Here's your cat and here's your $20. Who knows? I might decide to do a all adult night. I do have about 12 boxes of adult magazines. Shipping 1 or 2 isn't too bad, but when you start, shipping 5 or 10, that gets expensive. And because they're magazines, they have advertising in them, and you can't use media mail. Grail Knight. These are all comics that I obsessed about finding until I found them, and now I don't want them anymore. I could do a key night where every comic I sell is a key. Just not a very big one. Hey, I have a Barbie Grail. I have an original 1961 bubble cut Barbie. That's a Grail. To a lot of Barbie collectors, that is a Grail. I also have the Marlowe Flip Barbie from 1967, and I have a couple others that are really big, expensive Barbies. So. Okay, that's my normally scheduled videos. I have thought about just on a lark, pay $15 for the shipping, and I'll fill it full of comics for you for free. Just to see if anybody would do it. Because every time I offer like 50 comics or 20 comics for $15 or 10 comics for $15, nobody wants to do it, even though it's less than $1 a comic. I think I offered $10 comics for $15. One of them guaranteed to be like a $5 comic. And nobody went for it. Nobody wanted it. Yeah, well, you know, if they don't have half price chicken, why would you go back? I guess there's no reason to go to Cincinnati then. That was my plan, was to go to Cincinnati to get a half price chicken. But if I can't get half price chicken, why would I go to Cincinnati? A store half price chicken. That's called the chicken is too old and they don't want to keep it, so they put it at half price to get rid of it. I wouldn't buy that. I did my little bit of grocery shopping last Saturday because I get a discount when I buy it on Saturday. Uh, uh, and I went to buy eggs. It's like $7 a dozen for eggs. 2 months ago, it was like $5 a dozen. So it's been, and they're telling me, well, it's because of the chicken virus. Are they, you know, all the chickens that are dying? And I looked at them and I said, but there's only been 2 cases of that in the state of Texas in the past 90 days. So why is our eggs going up now? Well, nationwide or something like that. I'm going, yeah, okay. I'm going to show you why I think that's BS. And I grabbed a bottle of mayonnaise. It's been on that they have not changed the price on in 6 months. And I said, read the ingredients, in particular the third ingredient. And then went, egg. Oh, eggs are one of the prime ingredients for mayo. If they're not raising the price on mayo, that means eggs are not that rare. And there's other items that I've bought that have eggs in them that or egg byproducts in them that are not going up in price. Only the actual whole eggs are going up. Makes me mad. Good thing my neighbor across the street gives me eggs every now and then. They have a bunch of chickens and they don't like fresh eggs, so they want store-bought eggs. But I like fresh eggs, so we're good. Well, now if it's a manager special and it's on chicken that you have to take home and cook, I would consider that over a manager special over chicken that has already been cooked that is probably no good. Hey, if we're not going to talk about holy donuts, I'm not in there. You know, I was one of the founding members of the Church of the Holy Donut. Then we went on diets only and only ate the holes. I'm out. If all you want is jelly filled, then what can I say? 5 dozen donut special. No. Yeah, here a dozen donuts at the Walmart that I used to work at, you can buy a dozen donuts for like $4. Actually, I've taken day old donuts and warmed them up in the microwave and spread peanut butter on it. It's delicious. There you go. You got your donut and your protein. Hey, I know better. I know better than this, and I'm going to explain why. Standard recipe: bell pepper, celery, and onion. Those three ingredients are required in anything made in the state of Louisiana. And that you can substitute other types of peppers for bell, but it has to be some type of pepper. Pepper, celery, and onion. It's the holy trinity of cooking in Louisiana. I'm going to have to take a picture and send it to you, aren't I? Now, I haven't been there for a while, so they might have raised the price, but the last time I was there, it was like $4 for a dozen. And if you buy the day old donuts, they're like $2.99 for a dozen. Or at least they used to be. Yet another reason for me to go there. Hey, I don't leave the house unless I have to, because gas costs money. And I don't like, I like to make the gas in my tank last as long as possible. I'm due for another fill up after the last 2.5 months. So I'll check the price when I go. And I'll make sure to take my phone, so when I see the price, I can take a picture of it and go, there you go. Yeah, here lately, with the cost of chicken going up, and believe it or not, has been going up. It's almost cheaper to buy steak or pork than it is to buy chicken. It used to be chicken was the way to go because it was the cheapest meat you could buy, but not anymore. I'm going to have to go buy some meat pretty soon. There's a there's a butcher shop down uh, in a city south of me that's really good. I might go there and buy a bunch of meat, fill my freezer. I know Walmart changed theirs. They're not as bad as they were at one point, but they might have changed it back. You never know. Last time I bought a Domino's pizza, I was still drinking. But since I quit drinking so many years ago, I haven't had any reason to buy Domino's. Like I said, since I quit drinking, I have had no reason to buy Domino's pizza. Of course, since I quit drinking, I stopped going to the movies to eat the popcorn too. So there might be a correlation there. I'm not sure. I actually, when I go to the movies now, it's because I want to see the movie. Yeah, but when you can buy a frozen pizza and add a couple of toppings and make it taste better than a Domino's pizza ever thought about being, and it's fresh out of your oven, yeah, that says a lot. There's an easy way to make frozen pizza good. The first thing you do is you sprinkle oregano on it. Then you put more pepperoni on it, add some more cheese, put it in the oven. You're good. Yeah, there are people like that. My sister's like that. My sister actually is allergic to dairy products. Um, she can't eat cheese. She can't drink milk, and it's not because it gives her gas. It gives her really bad headaches and other problems. I, on the other hand, drink milk before I go to bed. I eat cheese all the time. And I'm not talking about that processed cheese food that comes in the little wrapper. Mine's sliced. I get real cheese, and a lot of times I'll just buy a chunk of it and slice it myself. You know, best grilled cheese sandwich in the world. You slice your own cheese and you put it in there, and you get a little bit thick with real butter. Hmm. I could see that. Melted cheese on a donut. Yeah, I could see that. Cheese is good. I like cheese a lot. I like donuts a lot too. So depends on the donut. There are donuts that I don't care for. Those ones with the crumbly bits of coconut. No, I don't want those. But that's only because I don't like coconut. I had something really bad for me for dinner. I had ramen. That's it. Nothing in it, just ramen. That's not good for you at all, but I like it, so I ate it. Oh no, peanuts are okay. You can put peanuts or almonds or cashews or stuff like that. You can crumble those up, but just not coconut. Yes, I like. Prefer my donuts with a hole and not nuts. But I only eat during certain times, 1 in the afternoon and 8 o'clock at night. That's when I eat now. From 8 o'clock at night to 1 in the afternoon, I don't eat. There are rare occasions when I will have a snack, but after that, but almost never. Not really. Not that I want to share. That's not a bad thing. The classic crumbs aren't bad. Double cheeseburger at the Lions Club. Sounds good. I'll have to check that out later. I think the last cheeseburger I had was from Burger King, and it was about a year and a half ago, and it cost me like $15 for a burger, fries, and a soda. And I went, I'm not doing this anymore because I can make one that tastes better at home. Although, if I'm traveling and I see a Whataburger, I will stop. Whataburger is good. Yeah, I can believe that easy. Yeah, it's too expensive. They take things that you can make at home for $2 or $3 and charge you $8 or $9 for it. I've done that a few times. I've picked up tabs a few times. It's one of the reasons why I stay home. I have a policy of if someone is rude to me in when I go to like a fast food place, if the worker is rude to me, I just flip them off and walk out. I don't deal with them. I should get. I should download Lily Allen's song and have it on my phone so I can play it on the way out when that happens to me. Yeah, that's what I do. I just leave. It's not worth it. I remember ordering. I think it was it a Jack in the? No, it wasn't a Jack in the Box. Oh, it was a Subway, and I put in my order, and the guy made some rude comment about my selection, and I looked at him and went, "Okay, okay." And he had the sandwich made, and I went, "I don't want it now because you're a rude bastard," and I walked out. But I made sure he made the sandwich first. They couldn't do anything to me. Well, they could have, I guess, but they could have insisted I paid for it, but they would have to run to catch me. Did you hear about the study they did? They had some people go through and get checked for cancer, and then they had them walk by a cancer sniffing dog, and the dog alerted on a bunch of people that passed the test that didn't show a positive rating for cancer, and the dog alerted to them, so they took them back in and retested them more carefully. And those people, every person the dog alerted to had some form of cancer that had been missed by the machine. So, or the machine testing. So, yeah, if you think you might have cancer, just go talk to a dog. The dogs, they've discovered the cancer sniffing dogs are 100% accurate, whereas the tests aren't. So why do they bother with the test? Just get dogs. Well, I think that's going to be it for me. I have a bunch of stuff I need to get done tonight before I decide to crawl in bed. So thanks to everybody that came by. And if you want to help support my channel, you can always buy me a cup of coffee in the link down below. And I appreciate everybody that stopped in. Have yourself a great week, and I'll see you next week. And I'll try to remember to post that other video. And supposedly I'm going to do some work to that comic and post that too. So everybody have yourself a great time, and we'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Bye.